Welcome to a new test and teardown video. This time it's a very special Rohde and Schwarz. This one is called a Selektomat type USWV BN15221. This unit is actually a receiver. Sounds a little bit weird, but what you do is, so this is the input and this is the level of your expected input, so you can attenuate. Oh, there's a very big attenuator in here. It's very difficult to turn this one. Oh my goodness. Anyway, you input your signal here and you need to know the frequency range of the inputted signal. And in this range, this unit will find the strongest signal and it will track to that signal and it will read out the frequency. Isn't that just amazing? And it can also read out the power of the signal in log or linear. So you can read out the signal on this instrument, or, well, that's an annoying bird. Or you can read out a sweep of the frequency and level on a pyloskope, of course also from Rohde Schwarz. And so this is for the pyloskope, if you got one of these. Otherwise I just sold one. And here is the attenuator for the pyloskope readout. And here's the secret door to the pyloskope settings. Let me see if I can get some light in here. So this is the gain and the start of the tracking for the pyloskope. So I think that is pretty neat. So normally you don't need those buttons to cause you confusion. So, ooh, they're hidden under this door. I think this is the one of the first time I see this. I don't really like this. They touch the buttons up there, but so yeah, it should be on the instrument. And of course we want log or ling. So log, so that will cover a very wide range. This is what we want. Wow. And this baby contains a lot of tubes and it is very, very heavy. I've just been into the very, very good page, the Radio Museum page. Look at that, 21 tubes. All of those fantastic tubes. And of course, this page also give a brief explain about how it is and what it does and all that stuff. So please look this page up if you want more. So it's really in beautiful condition in this unit. So this is a classic detail of the Rohde Schwarz equipment with a milled in type number and inside the handles. And the handles are really, really top quality. So the rear side, we got a fan in here, but that is of course because this contains a lot of tubes and very, very old style mains connector. I believe this is gonna go out when we take out the internal the unit by unscrewing the top screws and just pull out everything. So let's try and power this up and see if it blows a fuse or anything. I believe I am ready to turn it on. Just checking. There's nothing bad here. We're gonna go in to the lowest range, 30 to 60 megahertz. 0 dB. Automatic, right? And we are on the instrument. I think we can just hit the power on, right? Ooh, 300 watts. Oy, 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 oy. 200. This looks nice. So I think the 300 watts was a little bit expected. Okay, and we got a beautiful light here. Yes! Indeed! I can't... Ooh, why are you doing that? Oh, this is just a frequency. Oh! So that will be the tracking of the frequency. Okay. Otherwise, you have to do the tracking. Manually tracking. Yeah, exactly. Wow, that works! So this is the manual tracking. And when you are near the point of your signal, of course you're going to get some signal. I got an idea. Let's... Haha, there's no signal. Ooh. Why did you do that? Hello. Let's put in some signal and see what happens, right? I just really need to say how impressed I am. This unit really works. So, von Hand, don't you just love that? By hand. So this is manual mode, and so this is the tracking is now turned off. So try and see. This is 40 megahertz of input, and then I can dial the frequency and see when I got the right frequency, then smack, I got the output, right? And now it's very selective. But see, if I turn on tracking, see now, ooh, it's not that crazy anymore. So now it's tracking the frequency. So that actually works. And even the automatic tuning as well. Look what it does if I crank it over to that. Ah, it is here already, right? What did I do? I changed. See? Oh, let's... And then stop. It was searching for the frequency and then got into tracking. Did you see that? That is just so cool. I really like it. And look at this attenuator here, the level. 10 more. Or 10 less. Okay, now I am in tracking mode, so I have to turn off tracking. And then the manual. Oh, manual mode. And again, see? Now the signal is here. Okay, then I can go down to 60. I still got tons of signal, and then I can just, on my signal generator, I can just crank down the signal. So it's, let's go really weird. Weak. So that is a very weak signal for only 30 millivolts, right? And then I can still, let's play with the, yeah, see? I can still measure the exact frequency content of that. And if I had more different peaks, I could of course scan the entire band and then see all the different peaks. How powerful are they? So yeah, I could actually, you know, perform a spectrum scan manually with this unit. So that was a 40 megahertz signal. It's more or less, it's not that super accurate here, but it's okay. Let's see the wildest thing this can do. Let's go all the way. Ooh, this goes all the way around. That was funny. Okay, 330 to 400. And of course it works. I input 390 megahertz. So that will be 380, 395 it says. But anyway, it's quite amazing how accurate it is. This unit is what, 60 some years old. And this is a very weak signal of this very high frequency, and it still works. I cranked up the level a little bit. Wow, man. Oh, so that will be for calibration the lock level. Okay, we can also try the, yes. Oy. Wow. I really think it works. All we have to do now is open this beautiful thing and have a look. Whew, that was difficult to get this out of this box. Of course, you just take the 4 screws out here and that's it. But this connector, oh my god, that was tough. So this is the fan and mains input. It goes through this connector. And here is the connector on the rear side of the unit. Oh, you need to lift. And fuses in a little bag. Isn't that just cute? We are now inside this absolutely beautiful piece of equipment. Mains transformator, some more transformator stuff, probably extra voltages. Wow, extra tubes for power supply, I guess. Here we got some voltage regulator tubes. This looks a little bit like power regulation for power supply, right? Ooh, look at that one. Okay, spring loaded. Ooh, not that way. How are we gonna get... Okay. Oh, we're gonna have a look at this one. Ooh, that is one beautiful. Ooh, yo, 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 yo. Now that is one big, beautiful 6080. That is cute. Better put it back again. That is, I really like this spring-loaded holder. There's another little detail about this tube over here. This was actually inside one of these screw-down shields. Those are not so common. Okay, normally we see all these shields, and those are really, really easy. All you have to do is press down a little bit, twist, and then off you go. Super easy. That is what we see most of the time. So look at this input attenuator. So this is of course the input jack, and this is what 6 sections of attenuation. Isn't this just beautiful? So each one of these enable another 10 dB switch. This is the way to do it the right way. It's not a binary or anything else, but no, you see. Let me see. 10 dB per step. I love it. Absolutely fantastic. So the output from the attenuator goes to this is probably a filter, right? Let's have a look at the bottom of this unit. But first I want to show you guys. They're adding all sorts of texts, and this is classic Schwarz. Tube numbers and potmeter numbers and everything, added text, so you will be able to service stuff without the manual, without anything. Look at that text that explains exactly what everything here is doing. I just love it. Genius. So this is the bottom side. There's of course another inner shield here that I just removed. Now we can have a look at all the nice inner parts. And of course this one is from 1960 plus minus. What is that? 64? I don't know. It could be, but the other one is 50, so we never know exactly how old it is. This capacitor looked like it puked a little bit. No, this is just solder. There will be some power supply, rectifiers and stuff. I'm not going to put my fingers in this unit because it was powered up about a half an hour ago, so I'm not that crazy. It really is beautiful. I think I really like this with all the text they're adding, just to let you navigate this really, really easy. I think we should have a look. This is obviously the frequency selector, and this is frequency settings for the oscillator part. So this is the and those are not my fingerprints. Somebody else's fingerprints 60 years ago. Oh, look at the springy silver. So in here it's all nice and shiny, and clearly this is silvered again. This plate is very, very heavy, so it's most likely copper. So what have we got here? Aha, that will be the different frequencies. Oi, what have we got here? That is some special coupling. Oi, 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 oi. So this one is inside here. Wow, what the heck? Now I know exactly what this is. Do you follow me? Do I need to tell you what it is? I'm gonna give you a second to think. Okay, then I will tell you exactly what it is. This is so cool. We've seen this we've seen this before, and it was, of course, also Rohde Schwarz that came up with this design. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. This inductor got an air gap. This air gap affects the oscillator frequency magnetically. So this is the low frequency modulation, or the sweep, that is done here, and then it drives the inductor in here into saturation, or partly into saturation, and this is a way to tune the selected frequency range. That is absolutely fantastic. And this is, of course, because this is before the vario cap and all those fancy components that were invented. And is this just a capacitor, or is this a temperature component? It looks a little bit like that, right? And this diode is, of course, the oscillator power for constant power output. Oh man, this is beautiful. I always find those special and fantastic things inside different products. So this one is great, and then yes, this is here we go. Those are the pots for fine tuning, and all the different probably mixers and filters. There will be filter sections that's repeating, and we also saw this on the top with all the shielded metal cases. So that will be the filter and the detection. Most likely also the log amp. Where is the log amp? It's most likely some of this, right? And again we see those temperature variable components that got a different color that says exactly the material and the temperature change. You're not supposed to touch anything or move any components. It is really beautiful with the feed through filters. They know what they're doing, definitely. There was actually another component I really wanted you to see over here. That one. What is that thingy? So it's a big red component mounted on a heatsink. Maybe this is a diode? I don't know actually. I expect to find... No. There's no identification right here. So if anybody know exactly what that funny part is, I really would like to know, because that is something I don't know. It is tempting to just unsolder these wires. Got 2 wires to this point. See a lot of diodes everywhere. Where is this transistor they said? There was 1 transistor in this unit, right? Hey, I've seen those diodes before. I really like them. So, aha! You could actually mount 2 here instead. Those are absolutely beautiful. Tiny little variable potmeter down there. So this is probably the mixer or something. Oh, look, there's a diode down there. Yes. So this is of course the mixer, right? You need a diode, at least. Anyway, this is definitely a beautiful product, as always. Better put it back together again when I'm done drooling over everything here. Tiny little diodes. What is that thingy? That definitely looked like the transistor I've been looking for. Where's the... No, it's just a diode. Maybe we should just accept I was not able to find the transistor.